Hey guys, what's up? Shin0555 here, coming back at ya with another drawing video. It is Sunday, so we're here back at it again. And today's video we are drawing Monica from Papa Please Get the Moon For Me. I believe this is like a children's book, bedtime story type thing. And we're going to be drawing Monica, and I think the person that requested this wanted to be anonymous because I did not have a name next to my list, and that's usually when the people that request it want to be anonymous. But yeah, so we're drawing Monica today. Not much else. This should be a fairly easy one. And yeah, but before we start, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. That really does help me out. But without further ado, let's get our pencils ready and let's jump in. Alright guys, so to start out here, drawing Monica, what we're going to do is start with a nice decent sized circle. This is going to be where her head is. And then for her body, we can kind of make it this kind of rectangle, like that. And then for her legs, they're basically going to go off into like a kind of like a long rectangle like this. And another one that goes into like an L shape like that. And then we got that done. We can get a kind of a rectangle going out here and then over like this for her arm. And then we get a nice big circle here for her hand. And then her other arm's going to go out here. Kind of like this. So it's kind of like two squares next to each other. And we'll get a nice circle for her hand, and then a nice little curve line for where the moon's going to be. And then I guess you can get a little nub here and here for the feet. But that's pretty much all we need for the gesture. So I'm going to zoom in here, and we'll just jump into her head. So her head's fairly simple. It's pretty much the circle shape, but if you want to, you can draw in like some crosshairs like this. And what I like starting out with is kind of like her hair. So basically what I'm going to do here is draw a line going down like this, and then another line going down like that. So you get kind of like this upside down V. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. And then once you got that down, we can extend this up and kind of over here like this. And it's going to go over, kind of down, and then over and in like that. And then here what you can do is get two parallel lines, like very close to one another going up. So kind of like where the part for where her hair is. But once we got the hair down, we can get the head shape, which it's basically going to just be a line going down here like this. Then over, kind of straightening out kind of where the chin is before going up. And then over like this. So you should get a shape that looks something like this. And now we can kind of gesture in where her eyes are going to be with these kind of like little circles. And her eyes are very simple. It's basically just this little curve line like this. And then a line, and like a little circle right here at the end of it. And then right here we'll get that little circle right about here. And then a little curve line there like that. And then we'll get a nice little curve line right underneath here for her nose. And then a longer one for her smile. And we would get two little kind of spikes here coming out here, and then one over here for her eyebrows. And we'll zoom out here. And now we could draw her ponytails, which are basically this kind of rectangle shape going out of here. But in the middle, you're going to get like a nice big circle. And then here, you're going to get a line going out, over, and then down. And then same thing on this side. So we're going to go out, over, and then down. And then you just kind of combine these into one shape. I'll even erase some of the overlap here so you could see it. So you get that big circle and then a shape that looks like that. And now we can do the same thing for this side, where we're going to get that kind of like long rectangle with that big circle right here. And then just going to darken in the circle a little bit. The line going out, over, and then down, out, over, and then down, like that. And then we're just going to darken in this line here, like so. And that is pretty much it for her head. Nothing too difficult. But now we could jump into her shirt here. So her shirt, and this is going to be like a kind of recurring thing. You're basically going to hug this line like that. So like the bottom here, we're just going to draw a line kind of hugging it without touching it, or be parallel to it if we're going to use like a math term. And then here we're just going to go straight into her arm. So we're going to get a line going down here and then kind of going out here. And it's going to get like a little bit of like a V in here like that before going over and then up, and then we'd be into the shirt here. And then for the shirt, we just simply go down, and then at an angle, we're going to go up like this, and then up, and then we're just going to go straight into this arm, very similar to the way we did the last one, where we're just going to go out, and then over, and then wrap this around like that. And now here we're just going to go down, and then over into that line. And then we're going to just jump into her pants now before jumping into her hands. So I'm going to zoom out just a tad. And very similar to what we did up here, we're just going to get a line that hugs this line very closely, but doesn't touch it. And then here, just going to go out to about here, and then kind of angle downwards like this. Kind of go up on an angle right about there. Then it's going to go up and over. And then when you get about here, you're just going to get a straight line going across. And then here it's just going to go into like this L shape. So it's going to go down, over, up, in, and then into there like that. So you should get a shape like that for the legs. And then we'll just jump into the feet here. So the feet, same concept where it's just you're going to start with a little curve line that hugs this line. And then you're just going to go down into kind of like a foot shape. So it's going to just be this nice little curve that goes down like this. Kind of over, maybe have like a little bit of a bend in there before going out for the heel, and then turn it up like that. So you get like a rough little foot shape. And then we'll get the same thing here. This one will again follow the thing, so it's going to go over and then over like this. So we get kind of like that V. But then it's just going to go down kind of into the foot shape here. Kind of flatten off right about there. And then just kind of go straight down, kind of get a little bump for the heel. But there's that foot. And now we'll draw in this hand right here. So this hand's not too bad. Basically, you're just going to get a thumb that goes out here, and then the fingers are just going to kind of spread out like this. And then, again, very similar, you get that shape that hugs it. So you should get like a gesture like this. But then we're just going to go into detail, and basically it's just a straight line going over, up, across, and down for the thumb. Then it's going to go straight over, like this, across, down, go across, up, down, in. And you basically just get these like rectangles that kind of go off for the fingers here. Like that. And I'll erase kind of the overlap we have here and redraw that in. Like so. And that's that hand. And now we could draw in the next hand, which is even easier because basically we're going to start with this little curve line like that. And then we're going to just have like a little bit of a dip, and it's going to go over, down, in, and just kind of down and then over like this. So you almost get like almost like a gun looking thing. I guess you can kind of see it. But once you get that down, what we're going to do is just kind of darken in this curve here for the moon. And then if you want to, you can kind of like draw the curve in like this. But basically what you're going to do is get to the tip here and go off. And when we get to where like the thumb is, it's going to go in. And it's going to go out again. And then you get like a little bit of a V there, like that. Then it's going to dip in and then just connect into like this tip. So this is his nose, this is the mouth, and then the eye is going to be right here. And very similar to how we did her eyes over here. It's just going to be a nice little curve line like this. And then a little oval, and you could kind of shade that in as well. But yeah, that's pretty much how you draw Monica from Papa, Please Get Me, or Get the Moon for Me. And again, I'm not familiar with this like kid's story, but I looked up the picture, and apparently this is what Monica looks like. So I'm going to put the sketch that we just did up here. Well, if it'll stand, it will. Let me put a couple more pages with this one. And I'll put the inked version I did beforehand up there as well. So you can get like a good... Oh, well, it fell. That's not good. Probably got all dirty and dog hairs on it. That's unfortunate. And now the next one. Oh my god, they're all falling. I usually don't have this hard of a time standing my pictures up on the table here. Okay, they're just not going to stand up. That's unfortunate, so I'll just lay them on the table here and just try to get them like that. How about that? They do not want to stand on the table today. So anyway, guys, that is how you draw Monica. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. That really does help me out. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. And if you have requests, leave those in the comments as well. I do take them, and then just tune in on Sunday, and hopefully your request pops up. So, yeah, anyway, guys, thank you so much again for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one. Okay, thanks, bye. Later.